Hey guys, it's your girl Nick Lynn and I'm back with another video. And so today on my channel, for the very first time, I am actually going to be doing men's box braids. Literally every time that I do his hair, we always talk about how we really should have documented a growth journey because y'all, when I first started doing his hair, I couldn't even get it into 2 braids. And now, my joke is like I literally should charge him double for a blowout because I have to go through so much just to get his hair prepped for the style. So as you can see, I am just parting his hair in multiple sections to make sure that it's tangle free for his blow dry. And then I go ahead and I use some thermal protectant spray, which this brand here is the Cantu brand, and I'll go ahead and link that below in the description. So now that I've detangled his hair and also used the heat protectant, I'm just going to take my blow dryer and just go through his hair. So I do use a blow dryer that has a pick attachment at the end. I find that it just goes through the hair a lot more smooth, and it doesn't take me as many times to go through to get the hair in a stretched out state. So for me, I don't really ever need the hair to be like bone straight. I know there are some braiders who require like a flat iron before they braid or what have you. For me, I try to do minimum heat. So yes, I do require for hair to be blow dried, but I just like it to be blow dried enough that I can run my fingers through the root to the tip without any tangles. I find that that works out well enough for me. So to start off the style, I'm going to go ahead and part from ear to ear. And once I get that part sectioned off, then I'm going to go ahead and start the bottom parting by starting my bottom row. So if you have a guy that has like this taper type of haircut, you'll notice that it's a little awkward to try and part around the head and make the rows go around. So I just find that it makes things much easier to part ear to ear first. Now in this back section, I'm going to be doing 3 rows of braids. And just a quick rule of thumb, if you're really not sure how to balance out your style, however many rows that you do in the back section, you can do those same amount of rows when you get up to the front sections. And I can talk about that a little bit later on in the video. So I'm going to go ahead and take this first row and part it right in the middle. This first row will end up having 4 braids. So once you define your middle part of that row, then you can move over to each side and make another part so that you have a total of 4 braids. So you're going to take that section once you have your middle part defined, and it takes me a few times to do that, and then you can move over to your sections, go right in the middle and make your parts. So again, this row will have 4 braids. So anytime you're doing any type of braids, it's always important to make sure that the base of the hair is definitely, saturated with the gel. You don't have to use too much, but don't be afraid to use your products, okay? So basically, this is pretty self-explanatory. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and braid the sections down that I pre-parted. And speaking of parting, I just really wanted to just take a moment to say thank you to those who have purchased the ebook, The Beginner's Guide to Parting Box Braids. The parting style in the guide can also be used for parting men's braids. So if that's something that you're interested in, I will be sure to leave the link down below. So now I'm just on the second row in this back portion here. And what you're going to see me do is I'm just setting the parts up to make sure that as I bricklay them, that the braids in this row are going to fall in between the spaces of the braids that are underneath it. So now that I'm on my top half, I'm going to make sure that my middle part is straight. Again, just to define my part, I use the Shine and Jam to go over the top of my part, and then I just go back over again with my comb to make sure that my part is nice and neat. And so because I did 3 rows in the back, I'm going to do 3 rows on each side of that middle part. So there's 2 sections from the middle part, and within each section, there's going to be 3 rows. So what you see me doing now is I'm just parting off the first row of that section, and in that row, there will be 2 braids. And in this row, this is the second row, there's going to be 3 braids in this row. So again, I'm making sure that it's brick laid so that the braids fall right in the middle of the row underneath it. Okay, and then going forward to this last row, because this side has the same amount of rows as the other side, I'm just going to go ahead and match up the top with the last row. So the last row has 4 braids. So if you see, I am just parting out those 4 boxes, and I am basting them on the 4 boxes that are on the other side of the middle part, just making sure that they all line up. So this is the final look, guys. If I'm not mistaken, I did go ahead and use mousse and some growth oil spray at the end of the style. You can see how long his hair is, and again, it's just something that we just can't even believe that his hair just grew this long. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and as always guys, God bless.